Hello everyone, welcome to another Narc Survivor live video. In this one, talking about how the narcissist new supply won't last. Forget about what you see from them. Forget about the posts you see on their social media. They're never going to tell you the truth. Just as they never told you the truth while you were with them. They manipulated you. They love bombed you. They made you believe in a lie, in something that wasn't even real. Because otherwise, if they matched your frequency, if they were on that same level, if they were genuinely passionate and interested in the same things as you, then you would have got on quite well together. But the thing is, they only came around you for attention and validation. They came around you to steal your characteristics from you. Because they recognize that what you have is something desirable. So they wanted to be like you because they saw it as though if they could take that from you, if they could steal your characteristics, your way of being, and often sometimes your money and possessions as well, they saw it as though if they could take that from you, then they could use it to manipulate forces, to garner them with more admiration. So that's what it really was. That person that they displayed to at the beginning, that person who seemed so joyful, charming, charismatic, seductive, the person who seemed like they were genuinely interested in building something with you. What happened to that person? Where did they go? And that's just it. If they were really genuine, if they were really about that, you would still be together. Things would still be going well for you. But they're not, because they weren't really about that. They weren't genuine. They displayed a facade. They displayed whatever they thought would get them your attention. Get you to go along with something that really just served them anyway. It was all just about building them up, validating their false character, making them feel like there's something that they're not. That's all that they were really looking for. They weren't interested in anything else. And that's how, when you began to catch on to it, they then turned against you, they devalued you. They were then looking for faults in you because they realized you were onto them. You were starting to figure out that they were fake, that they weren't actually really about anything for real. And all that's happened now is that they've taken what you had to offer. They've stolen all of that from you because they never deserved it from you. They were not of the same kind. So they stole that from you, because they weren't genuinely interested or passionate about what you're about. So they stole it, and now they've gone off using it to manipulate a new source. Someone who may be a codependent to an empath. Someone who they're deceiving. So of course, at some point, this new source is going to figure them out as well. They're going to catch on to it. And then they're going to drop them like a hot potato. Just as you did, or just as you began to pull away towards the end. Because that's just it. Why would they want to be with someone who is unlike themselves? Someone who's not passionate about the same things that they are. Someone who doesn't want the same things that they want. Someone who's just putting on an act. Why would they want to be around someone like that? Because that's just it. No one wants to be around a fake. No one wants to be around a fraudster. No one wants to be around someone who does very different things to what they say. No one wants to be around someone like that. Unless, of course, it's another narcissist, and they will work together like the con artists that they are to manipulate and deceive people outside of the relationship. So that's just it. Whoever you see them with, it doesn't matter. It's either someone who they're tricking, deceiving, just as they did with you, or it's someone who is actually of similar kinds. It's someone who's just as manipulative, deceptive. Someone who's also deceiving people. Just another fraud, just like themselves. And that's how you see, if you look at their friends, maybe their family members as well, they're all the same. They're all manipulative. They're all deceptive. They're all liars, cheaters, fraudsters, con artists. And they all get on pretty well together because they team up to target unsuspected victims just like you. So that's all that means when you see them after they've left you and they're with their family or their friends or whoever they're with. They're with people who are just like them. That's all that is. So you haven't lost anything of value. Just remember what you went through. Remember how they treated you. They put you through hell because they're absolutely miserable, depressed people. They hate themselves and they hate their lives. And everything they did to you was an expression of their own self-hatred. That all came out onto you. And they were especially hateful of you because they envied you. But even then, it's not so much that they envied you. They didn't even care about you as a person. It was more they envied the attention, the admiration that you were getting. They felt like you were better than them. And that's why they married you, because they felt like they couldn't compete. They felt like they couldn't do anything greater. So they thought the only hope they've got of getting your attention out of polishing their false self is to mimic you. It's for them to align with you and what you're about. This is what they do. So that new supply is not going to last. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be temporary, because even if they are dealing with another narcissist, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be a lot of fights. It's not going to last for long. At some point, their interests are going to differ, and then there's no reason for them to stay together. But yeah, even if their new supply is an empath or a codependent, they're going to experience the same manipulation, the same abuse, the same toxic cycle. Because think about it, everything they did to you, that energy came from somewhere. It came from within themselves. So it's got to go somewhere even after they've left you. At some point, they have to turn against the new supply. They have to devalue them as well. Because, of course, if it's an empath, a codependent, they're typically not going to work with a narcissist to target someone outside of the relationship. That's just not going to happen. And that's just how you didn't become a fly monkey. They didn't try to team up with you and get you to target someone outside of the relationship, because they already know you weren't going to do that. They already know you're not that type of person, and that's why they targeted you, because they try to steal those qualities from you to enhance their manipulation. So they already know you're not like that, and they know that if they're dealing with an empath or a codependent, they know they're not going to approve of their immoral or even illegal behavior. They know they're not going to be accepting of that. And so they're going to turn against the new source. If the new source is an empath or a codependent, they're going to turn against them, devalue them. So the new source is going to experience the same toxic cycle as you did. And despite what you may see on social media, it's got nothing to do with love. It's not even a relationship, it's a transaction. All they care about is admiration and validation. Narcissistic supply, that's all that they're looking for. They stole these qualities from you. You were looking for a loving relationship, a connection. They didn't even care about any of that until they got involved with you. Only then did they begin to learn what it was about. But even then, they weren't passionate about it. It wasn't really something that they wanted. They just saw it as a tool that they could use to manipulate you and to enhance their false image. And like I said, they take that from you. They steal it from you. And that's how, after they've robbed you of your real image, your true self, after they've stripped this from you, they then use it and broadcast it on social media with someone else to get more supply, because they saw it as something that could enhance their false image. It's not anything real. It's not anything that they actually care about. The new source, the empath, the codependent, they may care about it. They may be looking for a connection. They may be looking for real love. They don't realize that they're being deceived. And if the new source is narcissistic, they also may be being deceived. And the narcissist that you were dealing with, they may be being deceived by another narcissist as well. They could be deceiving each other with the shared fantasy, with their grandiose delusions, with their idealistic love. It's all a fantasy. So they could be deceiving each other while deceiving everyone else as well. Or they may know, one of them may know, both of them may know, and they may be using it to their advantage. But I'm telling you, whatever you thought you had, whatever you thought you lost with them, they didn't just take that away from you and build off of it with someone else. That didn't happen. Remember, they're nothing like you. So how can they attract and maintain a relationship with someone who is more your vibrational match? It's just never going to happen. Because that's not really them. It was never what they were really about. If they were, they could have just stayed with you. They would have been happy with you. What's the reason for the manipulation and the abuse if that was what they wanted? And if that's who they are, then how is it going to expose them in a bad way? It wouldn't. And that's how you know that it's all fake. And you should know that, because just remember the devaluation. Remember everything they put you through. They constantly just put you down, made you feel small, made you feel like there was something wrong with you. Because they felt intimidated by you. They knew they weren't meant to be around you. They felt undeserving of you. And that's why it was all about making you feel like there's something wrong with you, discrediting you. Because they already realized that they didn't even deserve to be around you. But many of us, what happens is, when they devalue us, we blame ourselves. We assume that there must be something wrong with us because things were so good at the beginning. Everything was fine, or so we thought. And it seemed like the narcissist liked us. It seemed like we had something together. But then they started to devalue us. But that's what you got to understand. The problem isn't you. It's their unhealed wounds. They have unresolved childhood trauma that they've never dealt with. And this is why they're always so miserable, depressed, angry. This is what they're so mad about. And this is what they take out on you, their own feelings of inadequacy, self-hatred. They try to get you to feel that same way about yourself, because they don't want to accept it about themselves. But that's how they really feel. Everything you see from them, it's all just projection. Narcissistic projection. They disown the parts of themselves that they don't like and assign them to you. The real them, who they really are underneath it all, they just feel inadequate. They're very afraid. Even the anger is just a defense mechanism. It's to protect their fragile ego, because underneath it all, they just feel completely worthless. And that's why they get so mad. But yeah, this video is just about awareness. Raising your awareness, raising your level of consciousness. Because when you begin to realize and accept what you were dealing with, that is when your healing begins. Because of course, when you're around these types of people, miserable, self-hating people, that begins to affect you. And suddenly you don't feel so good, because you're around a miserable person who hates themselves, can't even sustain themselves, and has to leech off your emotional energy. So of course, that's going to be damaging to you. It's going to affect you. And it's mostly because you're unaware of what is happening. You assume that there's something wrong with you, when actually there isn't. And that's why no matter what you do, you can't fix it, because it's not your problem to fix. They are the ones who are broken. And just by being around you, they break you. But you can heal. They can't heal, they won't heal, because they won't ever go within. They won't ever take personal responsibility for their own wounds, for their own emotional issues. And instead, they just blame you. And wherever they're going now, they're going to blame the news source as well. Whether idealizing them, they may still be blaming you. But eventually they're going to devalue them, and then they're going to blame them for their wounds, for their anger issues. Or they'll blame someone else outside the relationship if they're with another narcissist. Someone who they can work with to target someone outside the relationship. This is what they do. But they're never going to go within. They're never going to want anything to do with themselves. All they're ever going to do is just seek attention, validation, admiration to prop up their false self-image. And that's really just a wall between the outside world and who they actually are. Who they really are underneath it all. Everything that they want nothing to do with. Because they believe that it's worthless, it's inadequate. So they don't ever want to deal with that. And this is why they're constantly looking for supply. They're constantly looking for people to prop them up. It's a form of escapism. It's a distraction. They use other people to make themselves feel good, because by themselves they feel completely worthless. The only way they can feel good is if there's a distraction. If they can manipulate and control someone, keep someone under a spell, keep them unaware. Keep them unaware of what a piece of crap they actually are. And that's why they manipulate to control you, so you don't see what a piece of crap they are. They're rotten. They're absolute garbage. It's just many of us for such a long time, we don't want to accept it. And we keep going with it, we try and make things better. You can't make it better. It's never going to be good with them. They're always going to be like that. And they're always just going to try and conceal their issues through using another person outside of them, because who they are is not quite good enough. They're not self-sufficient. They're not self-sustaining. Their entire self-image, their entire life is built on a lie. They were lied to, and now they lie to everyone. Think about it like this, right? Someone hurt you. Someone harmed you. Someone abused you. Someone brought negative energy to you. Toxicity. You're really worried about where that's going. Something that affected you in a negative way. It's kind of like if you walk past a pile of garbage, a bag of garbage, and it stinks, and it's just a horrible smell, makes you not feel too good. Are you really going to be worried about where that's going? I mean, all you need to know is it's not going anywhere good. Nothing good is going to come out of it. Because just remember how it affected you. It made you feel sick. So how on earth is that going to be good for anyone else? And yeah, they may have devalued you. They may have made you feel like you're garbage. They may have discarded you like trash. But look at how they keep tabs on you. Look at how they watch you. Look at how they don't ever want to let you go. Who in the world would want to hold on to a pile of garbage? What good is it having power over that? But they want to have power over you because you're something valuable. You're going to go somewhere better. You're going to find someone better than them. And they know that. That's why they try and discredit you, sabotage you, isolate you. Because they already know the odds are you'd have a hard time finding someone worse than that. Someone who treated you that way. Someone who made you feel the way that they did. I mean, good luck finding someone else on such a low level. And they know that. Even though they themselves, they see everyone as being fake. Narcissists do. They're very paranoid. They think everyone's just as fake as them. But even them, they're very paranoid that you're going to go off and do better without them. That's why they sabotage you, they discredit you, they smear you. Because they already know. Wherever you go, whoever you meet after them, it's probably going to be something better. It's probably going to be something that didn't make you feel as bad as they did. And even you just being on your own, you're going to be better off alone than with them. That's why they don't ever like you to be alone. They hate it when you're on your own because they know you're going to find peace. You're going to realize how much better off you are without them. That's why they hate your alone time. That's why they hate you doing anything on your own. Reading a book, watching a movie. Just taking some time to yourself because they know that in that moment you're going to realize, wow, it's peaceful. You're going to realize that you feel so much better without them. Because that's typically how you will feel after a certain amount of time. Maybe not in the beginning. Because you may still be trauma bonded. You may still be seeking validation and closure. You may want to know why they did what they did. You may still be blaming yourself, looking for answers. And they depend on all of that. And this is why the moment that they sense your energy slipping away, to where you're no longer looking for an answer for why they did what they did. You no longer care about them. As soon as they sense that, then they come back. Because then they know once you've processed that, you're not going to need them. The only thing that keeps you with them is really just the trauma bond. It's by them harming you, confusing you, gaslighting you, and keeping you looking for answers. They know that that's all they've got. And think about it, if they thought they had anything better, then why would they drop the love bombing? Why wouldn't they keep going with that if that's really that good? If they really thought that that could keep you in a trance, that could keep you under a spell, that could keep you wanting them, that could keep you under their control. If they really believe that, then why would it stop? It's because they're insecure about it. It's because they know that they're no good. It's because they know that's not good enough for you. And of course it's not good enough. It's never going to be good enough. Because it's not even real. And it's never going to be real. It only seemed real to you because that was your energy, your belief that made it seem real to you. And they were just mirroring you, mimicking you, leeching off of your energy. And then just returning just a little bit back to you. Making you feel like you got something back in return. When you didn't. That was just a part of what you gave out. So remember these things. If any time you start to feel bad, you start to feel like you're missing something, you start to feel envious or jealous, remember how they treated you, what they put you through, all of the things that you had to go through, their anger, rage, how miserable they were. They were never happy with anything that you did for them. It was never enough. You really think someone like that is going to go off and find happiness somewhere else? Especially acting like they're into the same things as you? When that was never what they wanted with you. And yet that's what they targeted you for. So they target you for something, they pretend that they're like that, and then they have a problem with that with you, and then they go off and suddenly they want that with someone else. It's absolute crazy making. But this is what every narcissist does. They all do the exact same thing. And then they go straight to the devaluation, putting you down, because they know that's the only way they can control you. It's the only way that they can keep you under their spell. Because they know their manipulation, their love bombing is not good enough. That's why. They know that they're not real. They know that they're frauds. They know they'll never be able to match your energy or to sustain that type of engagement in a relationship. They know they're not capable of doing that. And that's why it stops. Because think about it, if that was really something they're into, if it was something they wanted, if there was something that they can actually do, that they're good at, if that's really them, they would just be that. But that's the whole point, because if they were that, they wouldn't have to control you. If they were secure about themselves, they're insecure, and that's why they're so jealous, possessive, and controlling, because they lied about who they were from the start. That's why. Because otherwise they would know, I mean, if that was really them, if they were really your soulmates, then they wouldn't be worried about losing control of you. Because they would know that they are the only one for you. If what you have is really that special, really that rare, but no, they're very insecure, they're very jealous, controlling, possessive, because deep down they understand that yes, they are fake. They just have a fake image. As you can see, just at the park today, had a bunch of weirdos following me around doing these creepy hand movements. I mean, I guess it's better they move their hands, because you can see the state of their faces. God, rather look at their hands than their face. But yeah, you could probably see the reflection of my shades. But despite that, I had to get on gear and spit this game to you. Make sure you know what's really going on. With a new supply, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to last. Even if it does appear to last, it's probably because they're with a codependent who doesn't realize what they are. Or maybe they're with another narcissist, and they're working together to target people outside of the relationship. But don't ever think that there's a connection. Don't ever think that there's love. They can't connect to anyone. They can't even connect to themselves. They can't even be vulnerable. They can't even be open and honest with you. So what hope have they got developing a connection with someone? That's never going to happen. They've got to resolve their unhealed wounds first. And of course, they're never going to do that. Remember how they blamed you for everything? They deflected everything onto you. They're never going to change. It's never going to get better. And so, don't ever think that you're missing out on anything. Don't ever think that you lost something about you. You lost a reflection of you. I mean, yeah, in a way, you lost a reflection of you, but it was fake. It was intended to mislead and deceive you. That wasn't really them. If you want to see a reflection of yourself, just look in the mirror. It won't get any more real than that, because that is the real you. They are just pretending, mimicking you, pretending to be something they're not, something they're never going to be. All they can ever do is pretend, because inside they have no soul, they're empty, and that's why they have to leech off our emotional energy. And that's all they're ever going to do. They're always going to be parasites, leeches. That's all they're ever going to be like. They're never going to be able to sustain themselves. There's never going to be a genuine connection. It's just never going to happen. But that will happen for you, and that all begins by having this understanding of what you went through. Accepting it. Realizing that you were dealing with a fake, a fraud. Because by realizing that, you will then begin to heal. But yeah, I'd like to hear from you. Let me know if you've got any questions on this topic about the new supply. Anything that you'd like to know. And even those of you who maybe have your suspicions that the narcissist is doing better with the new supply, we could talk about that too. Let me know any questions you've got in the live chat. I will read them out and respond to them. Give it a thumbs up as well. If you're new here, subscribe. For those of you who are new, I've been doing this now for over 7 years. Researching about narcissistic abuse, narcissistic personality disorder. I've been making these videos for over 6.5 years. And I've got a lot of personal experience. I've been dealing with narcissists my entire life. I've dealt with thousands of them. So I know exactly what they're like. I know them like the back of my hand. But of course, even knowing them, that doesn't make you immune to manipulation. And actually, when you heal to a certain point, it's not going to make you immune to it. You may actually, in some ways, it's going to harm you even more. Because of course, the healthier you become, when you get around something that's unhealthy for you, it's going to have an even worse effect on you. I mean, it's kind of like if you've been eating healthy for a certain amount of time, or going to the gym, exercising, and then one day you suddenly stop exercising for a certain amount of time, or instead of eating healthy, then you start to eat junk food, your body's really going to feel it. It's the same thing when you avoid toxic people, when you heal, and then you get around them again, you're really going to feel it. Because it's alien to you. It's on a completely different wavelength. It's going to affect you more than most people. Which of course is not how a lot of people think. It's a common misconception. The more healed you are, the more it's going to affect you. So that is something that you need to know. Esa NZ says the new supply is in for a hell ride. That's what. Oh, they are. I mean, of course, this is why when the narcissist comes back, what happens? No one has ever told me that the second time is better. Whenever the narcissist comes back, the devaluation is far worse. It gets worse and worse. It never gets better. Now that's after they've already been and gone off with someone else and come back. And you've got to think about that. Where are they coming from? Something already did that to them. It already put them in that state. Of course, it was the last person that they were with. It was their new source. And it may be that they dealt with another narcissist or someone who just didn't want to tolerate it. But yeah, this is what happens to them. They get worse. They get even more bitter, more resentful. And they're really just looking to destroy people. Because that's how they feel inside. They feel destroyed, broken. Because that's just it. All they have is a void. They're empty inside. And so that's all that they've got to give to you. All they can do is deplete you, leech off you. And that's why we speak about no contact, because all they're going to do is drain you. Even though, sometimes they come back with a love bombing, that's just to pull you back in for another round of abuse. Because they need you, they need your energy. Maybe Reese says they wish they were the badasses. We are. Yeah, they're really just like rebellious, devious, mischievous children. That's all that they really are. And, they feel like something was done to them in their childhood and life was unfair to them. So that's why they rebel against the status quo. They don't want to go along with society, but then it's like they're also so very concerned about their image just so they can manipulate and use people. So they're not truly rebellious, they're just a con. They're just fake. Harold Magnus Madsen says, they are so resentful that even your silence is something they want to revenge. Very exhausting to have to be around toxic people. I mean, that's a lot of it, is the resentment. I mean, pretty much, what it comes down to, it's not so much of what was done to them. It's just the miserable, toxic people that they are, to where they end up doing things to people like us. They're just miserable people who hate themselves and their lives. That's why they feel like it's unfair. Because unlike them, we have gifts, qualities, we have empathy and compassion. We have a true self. We're authentic. And that's why they're so mad. That's why they're so resentful, envious, jealous. They're always the victim and they feel entitled to take from us. Because in their minds it's unfair. But it's like, no, really, you just hate yourself. You hate your life. And why not take some responsibility and do something about it? But of course, they're not going to do that. Instead, they just blame everyone else. They blame the very people who try to do everything for them. Because that's what we did. We sacrificed our life for them. Still was never good enough. Duchess Tiffany says, hello, Christopher. Hope your day is going well. Looks like another beautiful location you were filming from. Yeah, it's alright. I just came down here for a walk. I walked about 20 minutes from the seaside. But unfortunately, it's still very busy here. And I don't really enjoy being around any of these people, in all honesty. I'm just trying to get away and find some time to myself. But it's just how it is, wherever I go, people follow me around and always trying to attract my attention, steal my energy. It's good for them, but it's not good for me. It's good for them to try and bring me into their life. But because I'm greater than them, if they come into my life, all they can do is just take away. All they can do is take away from my focus, my attention, my energy. And of course, that's all that they do. But I'm very thankful for all of you. You do keep me going. You do motivate and inspire me. Into the Realm says they want you isolated and broken down. Ignore them. Live your best life. Even if that's just chilling at home. You'll be safe that way until they target your home. They always do. Yeah, they want to keep you stuck because remember, they envied everything in you that they wanted to become, that they wanted to take from you. So this is why, you know, they want to leave you stuck, broken down. They want to leave you as a shell of yourself because they're trying to steal your identity and use it somewhere else. They have a false identity that is tied to you because you are their reference point. You set the bar. And that's why they don't want you to be you. Just seeing you be you, it irritates them. They can't stand it because that's who they want to be. That's how they try to become you. They were a reflection of you. And when you didn't believe in that reflection, they then turned against you and tried to destroy you. Because that's what all of this revolves around. I mean, remember, all they care about is their image. That's what all of this is about. And that's why they try and destroy that in you, because that's what they want to be. They want to be you. But yeah, you know, just remember, these are empty, miserable people. You don't need them, you never did. You thought you did because you thought, you know, they were a reflection of you, but that was fake. That was mirroring. That was just for them to get what they needed from you. Because they're the ones who need you. You never needed them. They were never any good for you. And that's all you need to know, and just let them go off the new supply. Don't worry about it. You will be far better off without them. And by realizing this, what you went through, you can then focus on your healing. You just have to remember to feel, process the emotions. Because a lot of times we don't want to feel it, we don't want to accept. We feel like it has something to do with us. But no, feel it. Recognize that, yeah, around that person you felt miserable. You didn't feel good about yourself. You didn't like your life. Then ask yourself why that was. Because you felt good before. It's because you were around someone who also hates themselves and their life. That wasn't really you. It was projected onto you. And that's just what they do. They project their misery onto you. I gotta go over here now because this guy just came over to sweep the floor. But yeah, this is what they do. They project it all onto you, how they are feeling about themselves. That's all that they can do because they have unresolved trauma that they don't want to deal with or reflect on. So it's kind of like, it's almost like an unconscious response. It just comes out onto you. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe. Your donations are greatly appreciated, no matter how small. You can donate by going to my PayPal, paypal.me/Narc Survivor. If you would like guidance to support your healing journey, book a one-on-one with me today. Just go to my website. It is narcsurvivor.co.uk. And don't forget to drop a comment down below. It's been great seeing all of your comments recently. There's more comments now than there was before. You know, let's build up our wonderful community. I read your comments every day. So yeah, drop a comment down below. And also you can follow me on Instagram, Narc Survivor YouTube. Okay, thank you all for joining me on another Narc Survivor live video, and I will talk to you soon.